Trey Wingo. Trey Wingo says that the Aaron Rodgers deal is as good as done. And we're going to bring up that and a whole lot more coming up on the Fantasy Football Show. Jimmy G signing a big deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, but Davante Adams isn't happy. Some say he wants out. We don't know if that's speculation. We've got a whole bunch to talk about and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now, broskies. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is up, good people? You're watching the Fantasy Football Show, and we've got a jam-packed agenda today. Talking Aaron Rodgers, Trey Wingo sending out a tweet. I think I have that new tweet here. Let me pull it on screen here. Trey Wingo tweeting out earlier today. I believe this is it right here. Let me go ahead and screen grab this. Is this it right here? Trey Wingo, here it is. Hearing Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is done. History about to repeat itself between New York and Green Bay. Time is indeed a flat circle. Trey Wingo said this 4 hours ago. We haven't gone live on it yet because we were live already when it broke. And we haven't had a retweet by Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport. I don't know if Trey Wingo and Rappaport, Trey Wingo and Schefter, Trey Wingo and a lot of people are beefing because they give this guy no respect or love at all in the retweet department. Why wouldn't you retweet this? Look, 7,730 people retweeted it, 1,235 comments, 8 million people have viewed this tweet. 8 million people. This isn't like some random beat writer talking about this being done. This is Trey Wingo. This is Trey Wingo. 8 million views on his post. And this is the guy that said that the Jets were flying out to Aaron Rodgers, and he had that scoop first. This is not a guy we don't trust. We trust him. We trust him. But until we get confirmation on the confirmation, we have to assume we're still kind of in some kind of like, is there a problem stage? Is there a hiccup or a hang-up between the two clubs trying to make this deal work? Because Aaron Rodgers may be waiting to announce something based on something he wants involved or whatever. We don't know what it is, but we know Trey Wingo says he's hearing the deal is done. Maybe they're waiting until tomorrow. Maybe it's done and they're waiting until tomorrow to announce it because Aaron Rodgers says keep it under wraps. Part of this is me going on the McAfee show and I'm going to announce it there. We don't know why it's done but not announced. Not being announced doesn't mean it's not done in theory. Not being announced might just mean it's the time frame Aaron Rodgers wanted in terms of releasing the information. So we don't know. All we do know is this guy has nailed it before, and it's Trey Wingo. It's Trey Wingo. I trust the man, and 8 million people have viewed this, and 7,773 I'm having a stroke here. I'm so excited. Have retweeted this. And 16.7K likes is phenomenal. Trey Wingo. Let's go. So we'll have more confirmation, I'm sure, tonight or tomorrow. I imagine this news is breaking tomorrow. But it looks like it's very, very close, ladies and gentlemen. I just hope there isn't some sort of hang-up that happened last second. I think Trey might update us if there was some concern. You know, leaving this out here, not addressing it. I don't think that anything negative happened to derail the whole deal or something. It's just a waiting game. Jimmy G, this guy Jimmy G, I'm messing with my graphics here. Jimmy G signed a pretty handsome deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's get this up on screen here. It looks like it's a 3-year deal, $67.5 million, including $34 million guaranteed per sources. That's a lot of money to pay Jimmy Garoppolo. And a lot of people are kind of like, Smitty, you're so upset. Smitty, you're such a Jimmy G hater. Smitty, you just hate Jimmy G. He's as good or better than Carr. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not better than Carr. I don't buy that for a second. Carr is a much better quarterback. And Davante Adams, we don't really know 100% what the meaning was behind this. He deleted this. When I grabbed this, I don't know how long it had been up. By the time I actually screen grabbed it. But this right here, it says, if we haven't talked in the last 3 weeks, don't hit me about that shiat. Thanks. We don't know. A lot of people are speculating this is referencing the team. And maybe he's being reached out to by the club. And he's like pissed about this whole Jimmy G situation. He wanted Aaron Rodgers. He wanted Derek Carr. They took Derek Carr away from him. Listen to this for a second. Let me map it out for a second. In case anybody's thinking, no, Smitty, he might be talking about something else. And he could be. But when you really think about it logically, it makes sense that he's mad about this Jimmy G signing. You take away his quarterback, Derek Carr, who's also his best friend. You have the worst defense in the National Football League. It's been a disaster coming over to the Las Vegas Raiders. They haven't been the team that they promised to be. And then on top of that, he wants Aaron Rodgers back more than anything. Now, granted, it's his fault. He made his own bed. He decided to go to Las Vegas. He thought Carr would survive there. No one's really going to survive there. Hence why Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to go play there. Hence why you don't hear anybody really wanting to go to Las Vegas. Now, this incompetent move by the Las Vegas Raiders to go get Jimmy Garoppolo may have just damaged the relationship between Davante Adams and the club beyond repair. Maybe he goes out there and plays in 2023. Not much he can do. He can demand a trade. They probably won't trade him. They just signed Jimmy Garoppolo. They're not going to trade Davante Adams. But Davante Adams may be so upset about this situation because now you took away Derek Carr. You took away his best friend. He wanted Aaron Rodgers. Didn't seem like you even tried because Aaron Rodgers, maybe he did decide I'm going to New York, that's it. But you didn't put up any sort of like public display of affection for Aaron Rodgers. There was nothing. Your Raider fans did. The Raider fans, I feel bad for the Raider fans. Let me go out on a limb here and say I'm reaching out to the Raider fans. You are welcome here. I don't want you to take my Jimmy G negativity or my negativity toward the incompetence that's going on in Las Vegas against you guys as a fan base. I love the Raider fan base. The Raider fan base is a diehard fan base, and I feel bad for the Raider fan base. The Raider fan base just lost a better quarterback, Derek Carr, and they didn't upgrade him. They downgraded Derek Carr into Jimmy Garoppolo, who can't throw more than 30 yards down the field. And so he's supposed to deliver, 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 100-plus receptions to Davante Adams, which Derek Carr just did. I don't think so. Not to mention he can't stay healthy. And Davante Adams, from our perspective, looking at all this, it appears he's not very happy. You're not taking into account what he wants. You're clearly taking away more than just a friend. You're taking away his quarterback. And he doesn't feel Derek Carr was the problem. And a lot of people feel that way. You have a very bad team that's run very poorly. They franchise tag Josh Jacobs and restrict his ability to go get a payday. They can't agree on terms with him. Maybe they do eventually because Josh Jacobs is like, I'm screwed anyway because if I don't ball out here, I'm not getting a payday. I might as well try and take a low ball offer and get what I can in case I hit 8-man wall, 8-man front after 8-man front all season long and come out of 2023 injured or looking like I run 3.4 yards per carry. So Jacobs is smart to just get the bag at this point as much as he can get because he might climb out of the situation, not walk out, not run out, but literally climb for his life out of the situation into free agency next year. And everybody go, oh, that was the guy that did good with 1 year. I'm not paying him the bag. So they pigeonholed Josh Jacobs in place. They have Davante Adams on a big contract, and they go out and get Jimmy G. This is your reload, retool. Let's go get it in 2023 in one of the toughest divisions in football. You're gonna beat the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't think so. You're gonna beat the Denver Broncos with Sean Payton? No, I don't think so, bro. Even Herbert and a beat up, need to prove themselves Chargers squad. You're not beating these teams you face twice a year, and you're not going to win 8 games probably in Las Vegas in 2023 under the command of Jimmy Garoppolo. I wish I had better news for Raider fans. I don't. That's my take. I don't apologize for it. I only apologize to the Raider fan base that they have to endure this kind of incompetence and downgrade situation and inability to realize that Derek Carr wasn't quite the problem and that bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo is only going to make matters worse for this team that has one of the worst defenses in the National Football League and has for the entire reign of Derek Carr in Las Vegas and in Oakland. So Adams, I don't know what to make of Adams. We did a draft or a little ranking situation earlier, and we have JJ, Chase, Cooper Kupp, and Adams. This is where Adams belonged before this trade. Now, or this acquisition of Jimmy G. Now, Davante Adams, I don't think can be number 4. I think Davante Adams is arguable in this territory right here with Waddle, St. Brown, Olave. I honestly don't see how I can put him above Lamb, Wilson, of course, Diggs, Hill, but maybe Waddle, St. Brown, and Olave are ahead of him too. I don't really know. I'm trying to digest it, but it's not a good situation at all. And our boy Mike White heading to Miami, baby, like we predicted on the show all along. We said that the Dolphins were going to make 2 big moves. I don't even know that this is the second big move because this is more of a strategic secondary type of piece, right? I think Miami Mike isn't done yet. I think Miami Mike, like I predicted, would bring in Orlando Brown or potentially McGlinchey. Obviously, that's off the table now. But Orlando Brown, or he would bring in Ramsey, and he'd probably bring in Mike White. So really 3 things to happen. He brought in Ramsey. Check. Smack.
You've just been Smitty approved.
You bring in Mike White. To the moon, Mike White, because he's probably starting games. Let's be real. And the next move is going to be absolute smash. I know Miami Mike. He's coming in strong. The second big move is underway.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Mike White is going to start games. Mike White is just the man for the job. Just what the doctor ordered. And Miami Mike is going to be able to turn this guy into the guy we've been wanting him to be for quite some time. Now, of course, Tua Tagovailoa will start week 1, assuming he's healthy, ready to go, and doesn't get a concussion in the preseason. If they even let him play, that's going to be the problem. They won't even let him play in the preseason, I bet. I bet they're going to be so scared of this guy getting a concussion, and he's going to be so scared looking over his shoulder, he might even have a bad season to where he's removed and Mike White comes in if he's too worried about it. And if he can control himself, compose himself, look, this offense is amazing. And I'm not sitting here saying Tua Tagovailoa can't be an absolute monster like he was last year in spots throughout the year. He can. It's the offense. Mike White's going to be 5 times the player he really is. And that's not a knock on Mike White. I've always liked Mike White. You guys know that. But Mike White is going to be on steroids in this offense. Tua Tagovailoa is on roids in this offense. It's a totally different ball game. When you put up a quarterback that's mediocre to good like Tua in the offense, he becomes almost great. You put a good quarterback, not mediocre to good like Tua, you put a good quarterback in this offense like Mike White, he probably turns not almost great, but probably a touch great. Touch great to great. I'm not saying he's going to be elite of the elite, top 4 or anything like that, but Mike White might deliver shockingly good numbers, as did Tua, and we were shocked about Tua. Some people believed in him, but that was the old, just going to bet on the underdog type of mentality. No one really knew what it was going to look like. No one really knew Tua would actually look like a gunslinger, throw into a track team of a wide receiver crew, and I truly believe that Mike White will have a field day in this offense, knifing up a defense that is now set up by the Miami Dolphins' much improved defense. Ramsey's a huge move. This defense will give the offense good field position. The offense will give the defense good field position and set up on defense, and it's going to cascade back and forth. The Miami Dolphins are coming for everybody in 2023. And they are in the toughest division in the entire National Football League in the AFC East. I'm going to put a screenshot of the AFC East up on the screen. This is the number 1 toughest division in football. And I know a lot of you loyal fans of your team are going to say your division's the best. Everybody's going to say it, but the answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no. That is wrong information.
Wrong. Muy mal.
This right here is the toughest division in football. The Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the lowly Patriots that they can win games with defense. We're going to leave them out and say they're the weak link in this 4-man race here. It's a 3-man race until the Patriots can prove they know what they're doing. They don't. It's defense. Yeah. It's Mac Jones. No, thank you. Zappy. Sure. Put him in. Maybe then we get excited. Could they win 7-8 games? Yeah. Could they win 8-9 games? Maybe. Can the Dolphins win 10 plus? Absolutely. Can the Bills win the division? Absolutely. Could the Jets win 10 plus and win the division? 100%. This is going to be a tough race, and guess what? Almost doesn't matter at the end of the day, because whichever team, Bills, Dolphins, or Jets, all going to fight for the division win. Whichever one wins, the other two are getting wild card spots. Giddy up, let's go.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Love what the Dolphins are doing. Love what the Jets are doing. And we've got more to talk about, because guess what your boy said yesterday and the day before, and people ripped on it left and right. I even went on Instagram, on Raj's Instagram, and dropped this in his Niner-filled base community, which I love those guys. The Niner fans are amazing. I love the Niner fans. They know I love them, but they are a little hard on me from time to time. And I came in and I said, let me give you a bold prediction. We're all tossing around bold predictions. The Chicago Bears will win the NFC North. They will be the division winners. Ha ha, Smitty. That's ridiculous. Did he say the Bears? Crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji. Oh, barf emoji. This guy's a joke. This guy's an idiot. Who is this guy, Smitty? That's what I saw over and over and over. And you know what I said? They're not done. They've got the number 9 overall draft pick. They might take Jackson Smith and Jigba. They might take Bijan Robinson. They're not done yet. Not to mention what they did today on top of the draft. The Bears are set up so nicely, and they're going to win this division. And the NFC North is such a strong division. Maybe not as strong in terms of the top dog of the division as maybe a Kansas City Chief division, right? Or maybe the Buffalo Bill division. If we're talking about the AFC East right here, this is a stronger division, But the three of them, these three teams, leaving out the Patriots, are the strength of the division. This NFC North, maybe the top dog's a little lesser than the top dog over here, but look how close this race is going to be. If you think Jordan Love can keep this team afloat at all, then you're going to agree with me that this is the most well-rounded division in football, because this will be a 4-headed monster race to the division win, and 2 of these teams are going to try and fight for 3 of the wild card spots. Is it possible that we have division winners across the board? So the Saints win the NFC South. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's go to the AFC first. So is it possible that the AFC North produces 2 of the wild card spots from the AFC East? Okay. Bengals win their division. Ravens don't have Lamar, let's say. So the Steelers have a shot at a wild card spot. The Jaguars win the division. The Colts, who knows what they do at quarterback. Maybe they get Lamar. The Chiefs win the division. So you literally have the AFC East and the AFC West. Let me put them on screen so you guys can actually get a visual of what I'm talking about. It will be division winners. The Jaguars, no offense, Ron Navy, if you're here, put your earmuffs on. It will be the division winners. So we'll have the Jaguars, we'll have the Saints, the Chiefs, and the Buffalo Bills. They're going to win the divisions and get the wild card spots in the AFC, right? And then you're going to have the other 3 wild card spots come from these 2 divisions: Dolphins, Jets, Broncos, Chargers. And then the Steelers, Ron Navy, are going to be in the mix. Let's just put them in there for Ron. We don't want Ron flipping out on us this early in the show. We're only 18 minutes in. Okay, so there you have it. There is your AFC East wildcard race, and I'm giving you the division winners. Am I going to be right? I don't know. These things are crazy, but these are 2. And then you go to the AFC or the NFC North. You go to the NFC North and you say division winner Eagles. Okay, then you got the Cowboys and the Giants and the Commanders, if the Commanders acquire Lamar. But the Giants and Cowboys, pretty tough, 2 and 3 punch right there. The Eagles win the division. Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears. That's this division right here, the NFC North. The NFC South is cheeks, bro. It's absolute garbage other than the New Orleans Saints right now, unless the Falcons acquire Lamar. The Saints win the division pretty easily. The Niners probably win the division in the NFC West. The defense got improved again today. So the Seahawks will be in the mix for a wild card spot. So Seahawks, no one from the South. And then the Giants and Cowboys. Seahawks, Giants, Cowboys, and then maybe 2, maybe 3 of the wild card teams could come from this division. This division's so tough. Doesn't mean it has the number 1 seed or the top ranked team in this division. I think the Vikings are kind of paper tigers when it comes down to it. But it's tough, bro. This is crazy. It's absolutely fun to discuss. I love talking division winners and predictions of wins and losses. It irks people. It riles people up, especially if you've got a fan base that, you just think, oh, my team's the best. My team's the best. Like if Ron Navy was in here, I don't know if he is in here, he'd be flipping out right now that I'm not giving the Steelers some kind of locked-in wild card spot. That's just the way we feel as fans of a team, right? I think I'm objective, though. I know my Cardinals don't have a shot. But I feel like some people, they get so behind their team, they can't see straight. I feel like I do a very good job of being objective about it. And even though I'm rooting for guys, I have my golden boys. You got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Jalen Hurts. I know I'm all gung-ho about those guys, but I do feel like I have an objective point of view when I'm trying to predict what's going to happen with these teams. And the fact that everybody thinks that, or thought, maybe not anymore today, that the Chicago Bears is going to be an unbelievable wide receiver room. If they draft Bijan Robinson, this is a generational talent. This is arguably my number 1 ranked player on the entire board from a talent perspective. And so, you're gonna look at the Bears very, very differently if they draft one of those 2 players. Let's go. Prime says Vikings will not extend Cousins' contract. I'm hearing that they potentially will, bro. They're leaning very much in favor of doing that. They're almost underwater to the point where they have to keep the vehicle, bro. The vehicle's so much underwater, it's pretty much their only option at this point. And the cap hit's so big, cutting him, trading him, none of those are options. So re-signing him and extending him is probably the way the Vikings do go, but you never know, bro. You never know. It could be anything. Cardinals shouldn't have went after. Look, the Cardinals should have went after Mike White. The Cardinals should have got Mike White. Mike White, but I don't think Mike White wanted to play in a situation where he felt like he wasn't going to have a shot at the long-term job. I wonder if Miami Mike had a candid conversation with Mike White, maybe something that they don't want to share with Tua, but said, look, I don't think Tua, it's going to be a tall order for this guy to stay healthy. And Mike, I believe in you enough that if things go badly with Tua, you are going to be our future quarterback for multiple years. Mike White may feel like he'd start quicker in Arizona, right? Because Kyler's out for a while, but he has no guarantee past week 4 or 5 because Kyler's not getting unseated. Tua could be unseated or replaced due to the concussion situation. I believe Mike White wanted to go somewhere where he had Super Bowl potential, right? And so he's chasing a ring like anybody would be. He's not a ring chaser because he's a young guy. But Mike White in Miami has a shot at at least a championship game appearance. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably why Mike White went the direction he went. It was clearly up to him because, he was a free agent. So he gets to go where he wants to go. He gets to try out where he wants to try out. He gets to go interview where he wants to interview. It was crazy is how all this happened during this tamper period. Like, you're not even allowed to talk to teams. How did all this stuff get worked out? How is everything lined up like dominoes? It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. When a team like the Dolphins, gets hit with tampering or someone else gets hit with tampering, it makes you ask the question, how? When all these other things clearly are lined up, there's no way these teams had a chance to go interview and work out and do all these things. Like, they're all lined up one after the other. And this is why Lamar Jackson, who he's a restricted or an unrestricted, a non-exclusive franchise tag player, but his agent, if he had one, could work back channels during the Monday and Tuesday no tamper period of time. He could absolutely have his agent working back channels and trying to figure out where the first move will be or what the first leaked we're interested fib is or smoke to help generate some interest. But Lamar's sitting by his yellow kitchen phone, rotary phone with the fax line on the oven with mom, waiting for the facsimile to come in that says, is this Lamar's house? Can I speak to Lamar? Is there a possible way Lamar could call me on Wednesday? I would love to talk with him. Facsimile ended. Like, this is what Lamar and his mother are doing to try and negotiate with teams without an agent. It's the dumbest thing you can do. I'm not saying he won't get his payday at the end of the day. I'm not saying it can't work out, but it's a much more difficult situation And he's probably irritating every team that's interested because it's like trying to negotiate with a wall. You know, what a frustrating thing to be able to. How do we get a hold of him? I don't even know how to get a hold of him. He's reaching out to us. How do I get a hold of him? I have a pager number. Is his mom's pager number? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's just such a dumb move by Lamar. It's so dumb. And this whole notion that teams aren't interested is also dumb. It's kind of dumb all the way around. But your boy's here for you. Your boy's here to break all the news. We got 120 to 180 people popping in and out of this bad boy. Aaron Rodgers, potentially a done deal already, according to Trey Wingo. Maybe it's just an announcement that needs to hit. So that is all the news that I have to really go over today. I've hit a lot of it in other live streams. So we're going to open up the phone lines and see if you guys want to talk about this, see what your prediction is. Do we trust Trey Wingo with his hearing that Rodgers, the Jets deal is done and that history is about to be made? We'll have to see. Going live at 8:30 p.m. Central to break down. Okay, I'm going to go on Instagram at that time. I think that's like at maybe 5:30 my time. So I'll be on IG probably in about an hour. Let's see here. Let me see. Yeah, it sounds good. I'll let those guys know I'm good to go. Let me go to the voicemails. Let's dial into the phone lines, guys.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Smash that thumb up button on your way in the door, and let's get to the phone line. If you guys want to be a voicemail leaver on the channel. And let me put this piece of news up again, and we'll have the Wingo news right up here. Trey Wingo saying that this thing is done. This Aaron Rodgers news is done. If you want to be a voicemail leaver on the channel, all you got to do is go to my Instagram, thefantasyfootballshow.com. Hit that subscribe button, and for $4.99 a month, cancel anytime. That's half a cup of coffee. You can literally be in a private chat where everybody leaves voicemails on the daily for me. Here is Roberts.
Smitty, thoughts on a dynasty trade I just did? It's a Superflex league. I got Derek Carr and Chris Olave. Trade away Michael Pittman, Mike Williams, 108, 208.
Love it. Chris Olave alone, bro. Huge win. I don't care so much about the picks. Of course, I wouldn't give those picks away, but that's a fantastic haul. I like Derek Carr. Everybody knows I like Derek Carr more than the average person. I don't love him as a top 5 quarterback, obviously, but when you're talking about 8, 9, 10 in fantasy, he could be that good. And what he did for Devontae Adams, 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, 100 plus receptions, he can do for Olave. Olave to the moon. To the moon. Thank you, Robert. So what I did, so you guys know what I do on these voicemails, is in the message, I held down that message and recorded it. You can hear it now. This is what I left him. Chris Olave alone, bro. Huge win. I don't care so much about the picks. Of course, I wouldn't give those picks away, but that's so I leave that for him, and then I tag him, so he doesn't have to hunt through the live stream. He doesn't have to be here, and so let me tag Robert. Robert, appreciate you, Robert, leaving that voicemail. The next one's from Johnny. Johnny, appreciate you, buddy boy. So Robert, I'm tagging Robert. This one is Johnny Edwards. Johnny boy.
What's up, Smitty? I was just going to get your thoughts on Josh Jacobs this year. Thanks, man. Be blessed.
So Josh Jacobs this year is going to be hitting 8-man front after 8-man front, unfortunately, my guy. I feel bad telling you that. You might have him, own him in a dynasty, whatever. But this guy is not only affected in 2023 by 8-man fronts because Jimmy Garoppolo is not that guy, pal. He's not that guy. But on top of that, this defense is going to be hurt by that, and it's going to affect each other, and it's just going to be, this is a 7-8 win team at best, in my opinion, especially in that division. How they're going to play the Chiefs, and they're going to play the Broncos, and they're going to play the Chargers twice a year. This is a horrible situation for everybody involved. So Jacobs is going to face a lot of 8-man fronts. And on top of that, the problem in Dynasty is, how is he going to get out there in 2024 and sign a big, long contract if he goes out there and gets hurt, hitting 8-man fronts all day, trying to do his best he can, or if he has a bad year and is trying to get a payday. So I would sell high in any format, bro. So I left that message for Big Howard. Big Howard, appreciate you. I sent that in. This is a super chat from Christian Silva. Christian, my guy, Christian. Dropping super chats today like a madman. Dynasty, choose one: CMC, Devontae Smith, or Adams and Barkley. After today, like last night, even before Jimmy G, I would have had a little bit more loyalty to Adams. But after today, I'm probably going to say, bro, give me CMC and Devontae Smith. I mean, you're going to draft CMC ahead of all those guys, right? In a dynasty, though, maybe you draft Barkley ahead of CMC. You know, that's definitely possible. But Devontae Smith, you know, is such a rising star. It's a tough call. I mean, I don't know. This one's tough. I'd probably go Devontae Smith and CMC, but it is arguable. You could argue both sides. Let's see what the chat thinks. I just think CMC is such a big difference maker for this year. And Adams is at the, you know, maybe he's at the last and final year of being at that high elite level. Maybe he's got one more year left after this of being like a top 10 guy, but not top 12 guy, but not necessarily top 5 guy. This is his last shot if he was in the right situation of being a top 5 wide receiver. But with this situation, I don't know that he can even be that. We may never see Adams return to his old form. Maybe he gets traded though. He's not happy. Devontae Adams put this piece of information out, right? This right here. He put this on his Instagram stories. He deleted it very soon after. It says, if we haven't talked in the last 3 weeks, don't hit me about this shit. Thanks. And we don't know what it's referencing, but right after the Jimmy G signing, I don't know. You put 2 and 2 together and you tell me what you think. Appreciate you guys leaving those voicemails. We're going to another voicemail here. This is from who is this from? Kevin?
Smitty. What we doing about this?
About what? What's he sent a message here. Chargers, Austin Eckler. Okay, yeah. So I think he's talking about the Austin Eckler wants to potentially be traded. So we talked about this earlier. Austin Eckler, let me see if I can find this piece of news somewhere. Austin Eckler, where is that? Is that right here? Yeah. So Austin Eckler requested permission to talk to teams about a trade. In a sense, requesting a trade, right? Because he's owed 6-point-something mil on his final year, and they're not wanting to extend him and give him the bag. What he doesn't know is that he's 28 years old. And as an RB, you're not going to get a 3 or 4 year fat contract at 28 years old. 28 years old, doesn't matter. Every athlete thinks I'm going to break the mold. I'm different. But teams are not going to bank on you. What his best bet is to get traded. Maybe if he gets traded, he gets an extension. Maybe if he gets traded to the Buffalo Bills, they sign him to a 2-year deal. They extend him, whatever. Just an extension. Just like a 1 or 2 year extension on top of his deal. And then give him like an upfront piece of cash. That's his best shot. So if Austin Eckler does end up finding a trading partner that's willing to surrender a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th round pick, let's say, that was the asking price of Christian McCaffrey, which if you ask me is ridiculously low, and every team should be ashamed of themselves that doesn't go after Eckler and Henry and Chubb if all it costs is probably a 2nd and a 3rd rounder for those guys, because CMC is going to be the premium, and premium is probably what we just saw, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round pick. So give me Eckler all day long for my 2nd and 3rd round pick, coming from a guy that thinks he's going to potentially tail off. I still take the chance if I'm a GM in a club. Give me Henry. I think Henry could fall off. Give me Henry for a 2nd round pick. I mean, it's ridiculous. These teams are not potentially doing that. Let's see here. Bro, I'm sorry. I forgot to hold down the button at 31 minutes in. I think I start talking about this for you. But in a nutshell, bro, hopefully Eckler gets traded to like Buffalo, Cincinnati. Certainly possible, but it's also possible if teams aren't willing to overpay, he stays put. He's upset. His team isn't really set up for tremendous success. It kind of feels like a potential disaster again. I'm not going to lie, unless they make some really good moves in the next couple days and in the NFL draft. But Austin Eckler's 28 years old. I sell him. I wouldn't want to own him anyway. If I was a club, I'd want him. But if I'm a fantasy owner and I'm banking on 17 games from a 28-year-old guy that has a stature of an Alvin Kamara that's getting workload volume like a workhorse running back, I'm out. I sell. Appreciate you. Who was that? That was Kevin. Kevin, thank you, my guy. All right, Kevin, I think I may have gotten to all the voicemails. Let me see if I have any of them left. Let me go to the other voicemail group. the Bruce, he didn't leave any. Okay, I think we're good to go. We're all caught up on the voicemails. Thank you. If you guys want to be voicemail leavers, make sure you go ahead and subscribe on my Instagram by going to my IG, clicking on my profile, and clicking the subscribe button so you too can be a daily voicemail leaver on the show and on the channel. Phone lines are in, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Wow, what a day. What a day. Little Austin Eckler wants to be traded. Davante Adams isn't happy leaving this on his Instagram stories. If you haven't talked to me in the last 3 weeks, don't hit me about that shit, says Mr. Davante Adams, who's not happy. Said this after the Jimmy Garoppolo trade. Miami's giving Mike White a 2-year deal worth $16 million out of boy Mike White. Let's go.
Mashed potatoes!
So excited for Mike White. I want to say thanks to Mom. I want to say thanks to Miss Smitty, who brings the meatloaf in. I want to thank everybody involved. Mike White finally getting his landing spot that, yes, is quietly good right now. We know what's going to happen. God bless Tua. I wish him well. I hope I'm wrong. But Mike White's starting games in 2023, and he's going to absolutely look like the Mike White we all know he is. Super, super pumped about Mike White. Super pumped about Mike White. We love it. We love to see Mike White in the best spot possible. Very, very pumped about that. So, Mike White, thank you for giving us that piece of goodness today. Very, very thrilled for that information. This right here, Jimmy Garoppolo's $67.5 million deal, $34 million guaranteed. Yeah, I got an idea. Hey, I got an idea. This is the boardroom. This is actual video footage found of the Las Vegas Raiders around the boardroom. Hey, what do you guys think if we maybe exchange out Derek Carr? That's a great. I just hit my knee. That's a great idea, Steve. What were you thinking? Lamar? Aaron Rodgers? I was thinking about a little guy named Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a real winner. He wins games. Well, are you sure about that? Is he potentially turn into a pumpkin once he leaves the San Francisco 49ers? When we turn the lights on, will he look a little different than he looked like at the club late last night? I think Jimmy Garoppolo is probably a top 5 to 10 quarterback. Okay, if you say so, let's bring him on in. Let's see what Davante Adams, how he thinks about it. Davante Adams walks in. Davante isn't having it. He's not having it. He's pissed right now, and I don't blame him. You tie him up, give him the bag. It's his own fault. He made his own bed, let's be honest. But he's mad. He's mad. He wants out. He's probably going to put up a little fight. Put up a little fight. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do. But Jimmy G's not it. This team's not winning more than 7-8 games max. And in that division, that doesn't mean anything. In either conference, 8 games ain't making the playoffs. There's a lot of competition for those 3 wildcard spots. And you most certainly aren't winning your division, Raiders. There's no way. There's no way, Jimmy G, with that bad defense, you're going to win the division. You have to pray that you win a wildcard spot, which isn't going to happen. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, and Isaac, this is pretty on par. Everybody that goes to the Raiders regrets it. It really is the mantra. It truly is. It like name a player that went to the Raiders from a different team that didn't regret it. Randy Moss. Remember Randy Moss went to the Raiders? He went to the Oakland Raiders, and we all thought he was done. And then he goes to the Patriots and drops what was that, 20-plus touchdowns as a New England Patriot the very next year. Antonio Brown goes and burns his feet off in Las Vegas. You know, or was it Oakland then? He burned his feet off. He burned his feet. Like you go to the Raiders and you fall apart, you look bad, or you burn your feet off. And he thought that was better than Buffalo. There are so many examples, Isaac. You're right. You go to the Raiders and what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, Davante Adams had a good year last year. Let's not give him his flowers for the 1 year, but overall, you go to the Raiders, you get burned on your feet. No pun intended. You get burned. I mean, 27 touchdowns for Randy Moss in New England. You got to be out of your mind. After it, he's done. He's done. I remember myself thinking that. We all contemplated it across the industry. It's like, did Randy Moss just fall off? Or is this the Raiders? Well, he looks like crap. Let's show the game log for Randy Moss. Randy Moss, let's see here. Randy Moss career stats. This is hilarious. When you look, if you're too young to even have been alive during this, or you weren't watching football. First of all, Randy Moss had a career. Randy Moss had a day. Every day was Randy Moss day. This is unbelievable. These stats are unreal. All right, here we go. Let's see, yards per target. Let's go. Let's narrow this down to. Actually, let's put the whole thing on the screen. Okay, so here's Randy Moss. Randy Moss, such an amazing man. One of the best receivers of all time. Take a look at this Oakland run. Okay, so let's see here. Let me go ahead and put a line here. Okay, so here's this Oakland run in 2005. So Randy Moss having a nice little career: 17 TDs, 11, 15 TDs, 10 TDs, 17 TDs, 13 TDs. Goes to Oakland. 1,000 yards, barely cracked 1,000 yards. Randy Moss barely cracked 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Next year, Randy Moss, I forget how many games he missed. He played 13 games. 13 games, Randy Moss had 553 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's dropped off. There's 23 touchdowns, not 27. 23 touchdowns. Sorry. But it was, I remember, I think Randy Moss dropped off. It was 8 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, and he had 553 yards. He had a long career from 1998 to 2006, but he's about to fall off. Oh, wait, he's in Oakland. Okay, let's go over to New England. All of a sudden, Randy Moss, receptions, 98. That's not even a lot. 1493 and 23 touchdowns. Unbelievable season for Randy Moss. Raiders are where you go to fall off. Unreal. Absolutely crazy. Let's go ahead and check Twitter. I haven't checked Twitter in the last couple minutes. What am I doing? We don't even know what's going on here. Oh, I know you guys will let me know if something's breaking right now, but we've got, as of now, we are staying tuned to Aaron Rodgers' situation. Let me go ahead and...
Nothing happened. He didn't go to the Jets, at least not yet.
Not yet?
The Packers and the Jets have not hammered out a deal.
They're not hammered out a deal?
At least not yet. Rodgers has not informed either team.
Rodgers hasn't informed either team.
Either team of where he wants to go.
He hasn't informed anybody where he wants to go?
At least not yet.
Not yet.
That's why we're all waiting, and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my God. Wingo, what are you doing? Wingo, do you have real information, Wingo? We need to know if this is legit. Ian Rappaport, we trust Ian Rappaport a lot. So this is tough for me. I'm picking between two of our children here. Trey Wingo, who was right on about all these other things that he's talked about. And then you got Ian Rappaport saying not yet. It almost, does anybody else get this vibe? Am I looking for it, or am I legit? Am I psychologically evaluating this properly? Does anybody think the way he said that? Did you hear how many times he said not yet? He said not yet 5 or 6 times. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I got a psych degree for a reason. I was born to use it here on the channel. I firmly believe that. I was born to use the psychology degree. Look at me. Hey, mom and dad, I'm using my degree finally. Okay? I'm here to use my degree to break down Ian Rappaport and Trey Wingo's relationship. And I don't know if I'm wrong here, but I feel really, really strong about this. The way Ian Rappaport is posturing, he's saying this in a way that he's bitter about it being announced too early, because maybe he was told he could say it. Maybe he's just bitter because it's been the biggest news and he's frustrated that Wingo jumped the gun on it, on something maybe they both kind of knew. Or maybe Wingo does know it, but it hasn't been officially announced. So Ian Rappaport knows that it's also done, but he's waiting on something he's been instructed to wait on, and maybe Wingo wasn't. And so Rappaport's, the amount of times he said yet yet. He goes, yet. It hasn't been done yet. It hasn't been announced yet. And it hasn't been out yet. And there's no deal that's happened yet. He's so upset about it that he's hammering home the yet. I firmly believe this is his frustrated a way of attacking Wingo's early jump on this correct news. I believe Rappaport was told to hang tight. Wingo probably wasn't, and Wingo rolled with it. Wingo had somebody leak it to him. Rappaport probably heard it near firsthand, and guess what? Wingo jumped the gun. You could tell Rappaport's upset about it. You don't say yet 500 times in your sentence. I think I'm onto this. I really get the vibe. The Ian Rappaport. I mean, just listen to this for a second.
You could possibly know about Aaron Rodgers today.
Today, hear that? That's, guys, Psych 101. I know this. The one thing you hear about Aaron Rodgers today, because it's supposed to happen tomorrow.
Is that nothing happened?
Nothing happened. He's so upset. Look at his face. He's so upset. Nothing happened. Not yet.
Nothing happened.
Again, nothing happened. Nothing happened yet.
He didn't go to the Jets, at least not yet. The Packers and the Jets have not hammered out a deal, at least not yet.
It's over and over. Not yet. It hasn't happened. I was told that I could announce this. I was told I got to do this. I've been waiting 15 years for this. There's only 2 opportunities to announce the Green Bay Packer quarterback situation because they've only had 2 quarterbacks since the 90s. This was my shot. This was my time to shine. Aaron Rodgers promised me that I could announce this. What did Trey Wingo do? Who did he talk to? Who leaked it to him? This guy shouldn't have said it. You can tell I'm almost 100% convinced right now. This is Rappaport throwing a temper tantrum in his mannerisms. I can see it. I truly believe it. We're going to find out. Ian Rappaport just wants to announce it his way. It's crazy. Maybe Pat McAfee will break it. I think that's what it is. I guarantee you Ian Rappaport is just pissed about it. Watch Wingo piss Rodgers off and he doesn't go to New York now. I doubt he's going to let that kind of thing control him. Sigmund Smitty, appreciate you. Rodgers is going to announce it on the Pat McAfee. That's what everybody's thinking. Niner Rick, you're not calling anything. It's very obvious. That's the next step. But we will give you credit, Niner Rick. You sound like Ian Rappaport, Rick. Look at this. Look at how territorial Rick's getting about a very obvious call here. Hold on. Here we go. Here's Rick.
Rodgers is gonna announce it on the Pat Mac show tomorrow, Smitty. I'm calling it now.
Stop acting like Ian Rappaport about it, Niner Rick. We all think that's happening. You're not calling nothing, Niner Rick. You're always in here, Niner Rick, trying to say that this guy's going to the Niners, that guy's going to the Niners. I appreciate you, Niner Rick. I do. I'm sorry. I'm getting flustered. I'm frustrated that Rappaport's frustrated that Wingo's, going off out of left field and stepping out of bounds. Wingo, you aren't a breaking news reporter. Wingo. That's what Schefter's thinking. I like Wingo. I think Wingo's probably correct. Ty Lee will hold on to film and release when ready. Austin says Niner Rick once said that Russell Wilson is going to the Dolphins. I just love Niner. I like how Niner Rick claimed it. I'm calling it now. Keep your receipt. If he didn't announce it today, he's announcing it tomorrow on the Pat McAfee show. Number one, he has to. Even said in the golf course, there's a timeline for this. So tomorrow it has to happen, no matter what, Niner Rick. So it will happen tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. I love Niner Rick. So optimistic, this man. Whatever happened to the Burrow tape? I don't know. It hasn't been leaked yet. But Wingo didn't carry the NFL's water. Devontae worked on his 5-yard out routes right now. Yeah, he better figure out how to be a running back if Davante Adams wants to retain any value in 2023. He better figure it out quick because Jimmy G doesn't throw the football. He hands the football off to the wide receiver. Here, take it. But Smitty, Deebo Samuel had such a good season under Jimmy. Did he? Really? Because as far as I could tell, he was handed the ball off. Deebo Samuel was handed the football, essentially. The ball was given to him at the line of scrimmage about, I don't know, this is an arbitrary guess, but 70% of the time. Or he was handed the football directly, but he was given the football at or behind the line of scrimmage. I would say way more often than not. Jimmy G had nothing to do with that. And unless Davante Adams is playing wide back or running back, I'm scared for him. That's why he's upset. That's why Davante Adams dropped the Instagram story he dropped immediately after Jimmy G was signed to the Las Vegas Raiders. And you know what? Smitty has a psych degree. Do you want me to tell you what happened with Davante Adams? I think I already know. I think I've just figured it out. Davante Adams says, if we haven't talked in the last 3 weeks, don't hit me about that shit now. You know what this was? The phone call to let him know what was happening. Hey, just want to let you know that this is dropping right now. Okay, we wanted to give you a heads up that your new quarterback is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. We just wanted to involve you in the process. I guarantee you, that's what this was about. I can't guarantee it. I almost triple dog dare you that that's what this was about. That they tried to reach out either before or after, either one, and say, we're just giving you the appropriate respect of letting you know your quarterback's changing again. And he's lesser than the last one. We got rid of Derek Carr because we thought he sucked, even though he doesn't. And now we brought in a guy that everybody else thinks is worse than him. But we like him. And so we're calling you and leaving you a voicemail. Nobody checks voicemails anymore. I know that. But we wanted to leave you evidence that we reached out to try and let you know that your new quarterback is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay? Thank you, Adams. Give us a call back. That's what this is about. Does anybody disagree? Does anybody think there's any other way that this got interpreted? You haven't talked in the last 3 weeks. Don't hit me about this shit. Thanks. Wow. And the condescending things too. Like he's like, you're reaching out to what? Let me know what you're deciding, not involving me. That's what Davante Adams is saying. Davante's upset. And oh boy, I'm telling you, I'm on a roll over here dissecting this from a psychological stand. Mom, we're using the degree. Ma, Meatloaf, get it in here. Smitty acting like he isn't over. They're just reading the script. True. You know what the script says? I didn't even think to check it. This is the script. Okay? And the script says, tomorrow, what Trey Wingo has already broken will be broken again. Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport cried all night in their sleep, or they're to cry all night in their sleep on March 13th Eve, March 13th into the eve of the March 14th Tuesday. At which point, hold on, I got to go to the next page. At which point, Wingo steps in, creates a beef with Schefter, and then announces what Schefter is supposed to announce, and now there's bad blood. And there'll remain bad blood until 2027, when Trey Wingo will be given a new show, and Adam Schefter will become everybody's third favorite news reporter. Just like everybody loved we're talking about Ian Rappaport. I'm sorry. I've been using the wrong name. Sorry, Schefty. I don't know if Shefty's beefing with Wingo. You know what's interesting? You know how I know for a fact that this is he's just upset. He's being a baby. Rappaport's being a baby. You know how I know? because neither Schefter or Rappaport, they're buddies, right? This is a duo. They have an agreement to share things and release things at the same time. Did you see Adam Schefter retweet Trey Wingo's tweet? I didn't. Did you see Rappaport retweet Trey Wingo's tweet? I didn't. I wonder if we look through all the likes, which there are 16.7 thousand, or there were an hour ago. I bet you if we comb through all the likes, they probably didn't even like the post. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter together didn't retweet Trey Wingo, a very known and well-known and very liked person in the media world that has a lot of pull, so much so that his posts get 8 million views. Look at this, 8 million views, because they're both very upset that he stepped out of his lane and broke one of the biggest stories and didn't allow Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter to break one of the biggest stories of their careers. They're upset. They're very hurt. And neither one of them is wanting to claim that this has any validity, and they're going to try and walk in and try and claim the validity of it. I'm telling you right now, I 100% feel I got this pegged. Wingo in a fight would destroy Schefty and Rapp. Absolutely. Phone call, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Sam Darnold signed with the Niners. Look, it's a third quarterback, so I'm not going to be too hard on it, but I will say that, he's nothing special. And if you're at that point anyway, you're not winning games with Darnold unless it's like you're trying to close out a game and someone got hurt mid-game and you're like, okay, just go hand the ball off and throw a couple times. He's decent enough. The defense is decent or amazing enough that the offense can be led by a decent quarterback and win a couple games. Like, let's say a QB was out 2 weeks. Let's say a concussion knocked one of the quarterbacks out for a week and a half. And then Sam Darnold had to come in for half of a game and then start another game. Like that's survivable, you know what I mean? Like I think Darnold's okay for that role. But if they get to the point where Darnold's the starter for any significant amount of time, it's just going to be trouble. But Darnold was brought in as the third string quarterback, which in San Francisco really means you're like the 1C because that means you're starting 4 or 5 games. We'll see. The Niners did amazing on defense today, as per usual in free agency, but they also the Niners need to beef up that offensive line, and they can't just lose guys and not replace them. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on an offensive line to keep their quarterback upright, whoever it ends up being. The Niners would be silly not to contemplate a Lamar Jackson trade later. Right now, they're unable to participate in any talks or offer sheet communication because they don't have a first-round pick, just like the Miami Dolphins, which might have been the main reason Miami went after Mike White and didn't try and figure anything out with Lamar's, because they're really on a holding pattern for the draft to pass. And the odds of Lamar not being with the team or getting an offer sheet he loves that he signs, and then the Baltimore Ravens have the option to match it and give up or acquire 2 first rounders in compensation if they decide not to match the offer. That's very likely to happen before the draft. You think signing Darnold shows Shanahan doesn't trust Trey Lance, Smitty? No, I think you have 2 injured quarterbacks and you absolutely need a third one. Look what you just went through. But I think if you signed a bigger name, that might be more evidence that they don't trust Trey. I don't think Sam Darnold's a threat. It's Trey's team. But do I think Shanahan trusts Trey Lance? No, I don't. So the move doesn't prove that. I think Shanahan's actions prove that. But yeah, I'm not worried about Sam Darnold. He's not a big deal at all. The Eagles lost 4 key defensive players already in the offseason. They did, but at the same time, they've got a 10 overall and a 30 overall pick. And let's say they go after a guy like, move a future second round pick for Derrick Henry. Then what's everybody going to say? You replace your 2 defensive pieces in the first round, and you trade for Derrick Henry. Then what's everybody going to say? Nothing. That's what they're going to say. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So 4 players, sure. Whatever. They got plenty of opportunity to replace that. Schefter should have been fired after Dwayne Haskins incident, says Austin. I don't want anybody to be fired People make mistakes, but I think Schefter and Ian Rappaport are very, very hurt right now, and they're kind of acting like babies. No retweet of Trey Wingo. Ian Rappaport and Schefter retweet stuff all the time that they don't really feel is 100% yet. Somebody says, I'm hearing blah, blah, blah. Schefter will retweet it. He won't retweet it with a quote and kind of validate it, but he'll retweet it. And when you see Schefter retweet something without any context, he just retweets it. That means he doesn't necessarily have information, but he trusts, he likes the person that's posting it. He's supporting his friend. But if he quote tweets it, he retweets, let's say, Wingo's thing and says, per Wingo and myself, this is true. Or, a deal is confirmed per Trey Wingo, and he attaches it. That shows support for your friend. Why hasn't he retweeted it? Why hasn't he commented to it? He hasn't. He's just on there bitter, giving his stance of, we don't, not yet. That's all we're hearing from Adam Schefter. Not yet. Give me Eckler or Henry in Buffalo, says Swaggy. Eckler or Henry, one of them is moving. Probably Henry more so than Eckler, but it wouldn't shock me if both were moved. I think Buffalo, Cincinnati. I think there's a lot of options for teams, the Eagles, to acquire. Buffalo and Cincinnati, the Eagles, these are teams that are trying to knock the Kansas City Chiefs down a peg in terms of, weapons and having the ability to come in and win another Super Bowl without much of a hesitation. Swaggy, a great running back with a new G would be money. Eckler is the better choice because he catches passes. I think it depends on where he goes. I think Eckler and Henry would both be very good in Buffalo, but I agree. I'd rather probably have Eckler. Plus, I feel like Eckler has a better shot at being around for majority of the year versus Henry, who is 29 years old now, and the mileage is crazy. But either one would be brutally amazing, like a nice little assist for the team. It's going to be unbelievable. Eagles got Sanders. They're fine. The Eagles don't have Sanders. Did Sanders re-sign today or something? There's so much news. Did Sanders re-sign today? What do you mean they got Sanders? Or is this you not having that info? Let's see here. Miles Sanders. You're making me look this up, bro. You're making me look this up. You're about to take a lap. Unless he signed, you're about to take a lap. What is the Miles Sanders news? I don't see it. News for Miles Sanders. There's no re-signing of Miles Sanders. Who said that? I'm looking for it. I don't know. I can't even find it anymore. Sanders. Eagles got Sanders. They're fine. Trevor? No. Trey? Treznor? Bro. They don't have Miles Sanders, bro. What are you talking about? Here we go.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Let us know when you get back, bro. I mean, unless there's something breaking right this second. Miles Sanders didn't get re-signed. Anyway, will Sam see the ghost of Jimmy? Maybe. Oh man, my phone line's okay. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I mean, I'm just waiting for this Aaron Rodgers news, but I'm pretty sure it's coming tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. Is Niner Rick still here? Niner Rick, do you have any more sources about tomorrow's announcement? I'm just kidding with you. As of now, we are still staying tuned to Aaron Rodgers' situation. Ian Rappaport just tweeted out. He's still at it. As of now, not supposed to leak. As of now, we are still staying tuned to Aaron Rodgers' situation. He hasn't even addressed Trey Wingo's situation. He hasn't even looked this guy's way. He hates Trey Wingo. You can read it all over his face. You can read it all over his face. You can read it all over his writing. This man's upset. Isaac, trying to get... I missed your call. This man's upset. He can't let it go. He can't let it go that Trey Wingo dropped the little seed early when he was supposed to be able to do it. He was supposed to give the speech. He's upset, man. He's really hurt. Isaac, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
This is not Isaac. This is Trey Wingo.
Hey, Trey.
Have landed Aaron Rodgers.
Hi, Trey. Do you have a beef with Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, Trey?
Yes, I'm at home, and it's just hilarious watching. Ian Rappaport upset that I got the news before he did.
Did Trey Wingo visit your mother's hotel room the night of the Pro Bowl? Is this why you're upset about the situation?
No, sir. I am just happy that I am the man to report it over the duo.
Oh, sorry, this is Trey. Trey, did you visit Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter's mother's hotel room the night of the Pro Bowl? Is that why Rappaport and Schefter are upset at you?
No, I did not.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Maybe you could tweet that out before Schefter does. Maybe Schefter wants to rat you out. Bro.
Listen, I gotta go. I gotta get this tweet out.
All right, later. Isaac, did you have anything else you wanted to add? Trey, Wingo. Later, Wingo. Unconfirmed, that was Zach Wilson's source say. Maybe. Miami signs David Long Jr. Apparently, robot Terry Wingo. Schefter and Rappaport are being so petty right now is actually embarrassing. Am I the only one talking about this? I don't think anybody else is talking about it. Does anybody else see that? Is there comments? Is there anybody reading into it like I am? I feel like I'm reading into this properly. I feel like I'm dissecting this and psychoanalyzing this properly. These are a bunch of babies that their turf got stepped on. Their turf got stepped on hardcore. And Trey Wingo is just shaking things up. This guy wants to be the new Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport with an attitude. This guy's got pizzazz. He's ready. He's ready to take over. I'm Team Trey Wingo at this point.
To the moon.
Does anybody know? Is there anybody else talking about this? We lost Edmonds. Austin, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do for you, pal?
Oh, no, this ain't Austin. This is AJ Hawk, actually.
Oh, AJ. Hey, AJ Hawk. Do you have any news on Aaron Rodgers? Is Trey Wingo with you guys right now? Is that how Trey knows this information and Ian Rappaport and Schefter don't? Are they not in the inner circle like Wingo is?
Trey doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Rodgers has not made his decision yet.
Okay, AJ Hawk. What information do you have?
Just make sure to tune into the Pat McAfee show tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do that. It's just not during the show, not during the Fantasy Football Show broadcast. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Mitty.
Later, pal. So we've had AJ, we've had fake AJ Hawk call in. We've had fake Trey Wingo call in. Nothing yet. It might slow down. The news could slow down for the rest of the day. The last tweet by Adam Schefter crying about this situation was 50 minutes ago. We might have a little slowness in the next couple. Maybe that's good for me. I could definitely use a minute tonight. I don't think we'll go live and do drafts this Monday. I normally don't on Monday. I do go live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is what we're doing right here. We got the daylight savings thing that kicked in, so a lot of you are watching maybe at a different time. Some of you aren't. East Coast, 7 p.m. every single Monday through Friday. The time changes for me. I go live at 5 up until this point. Now I go live at 4 my time. I'm 3 hours ahead of East Coast now until October. But I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever news breaks, and I'm also live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, most times at midnight. That's funny because that's how AJ sounded when he asked on the show today. AJ, that's how AJ, that's because it was AJ. It was fake AJ, I think. Deep fake AJ calling in. Patrick Peterson is about to become a Steeler. Yep. Let's go. Where's Ron Navy at? Is he excited? Okay. Bradley, let's see. I'm looking at all these different news reports. We've got there's some teams making moves. The Niners have done very well. They're usually not very, very active. We've also got the Chicago Bears just taking over, man. Just taking over. Diggs wants out. I don't know how much I buy into that. Not to mention they're not trading him. You know, the beef can't be that crazy. But Diggs is staying. 45 mil dead cap says Diggs isn't going anywhere. Let's take a look at his contract. Stephon Diggs contract. Who said that? JCIM. Let's look at his deal here. Let's look at little Diggs' contract. Okay. Let's take a little peek under the hood of his contract and see if he is capable of even leaving. Let's see if this is a move that would make sense at all. Because a player can want to leave, but yeah, their contract can absolutely restrict them from going. Diggs 2023 dead cap 45.4 mil. Now it does matter when a player is traded in terms of when you can spread things out. Post June 1, sometimes you can put that over the course of, or spread that out over the course of 2 or 3 years. I think basically mainly 2. But before June 1, they're eating a 48 million cap. Now, why it says 24 million and then in parentheses 48, I don't know for the year. Oh, yearly cap. Okay. So yeah, 45 dead cap. Even in 2024, 25.7 mil is a lot of cap, bro. And I guess when you look at Diggs' salary of 7.9 mil, it doesn't make sense. In the case of Zeke, where there's like a 9 mil cap hit, which is still a significant cap hit. It's not 45 million. That cap hit's huge. There's no way they're trading Diggs. I mean, JC's right. But when it's like, when they're both numbers are like 10 mil, let's say, the salary's 10 mil, the dead cap's 10 mil, that's when you have a team weighing out, like, we can free up that salary, but then, you know, we get hit on the cap, but they're very similar numbers. This is 7 mil salary. That is nothing for Diggs. 7 mil is nothing. They're not getting rid of Diggs on a 7 mil contract when there's a cap hit of 45 million. Absolutely correct, JCIM. There's no way that's happening. Why would it? Why would it? $7 million salary? That's crazy. It's ridiculously good. Everyone loves Diggs, and they mess with him a lot. He's a player favorite there. Trez says AC. What? Don't talk about Fields, bro. Trez, take another lap. Fields isn't hurting his knee.
To the moon.
Oh God! I sent the man. Take a second lap. Didn't Rap Sheet reply to Wingo's tweet saying nothing has happened? LOL. Funny journalist. I don't think he did. He replied to somebody else's question about it. But he didn't. I don't think he never retweeted or quote tweeted it. And I don't know if he went into Wingo's post. Let me see if I can find if he did. Let me see. That would be hilarious if he actually commented on it. Okay, so he says hearing Rodgers has 8.5 million views now. I don't see a reply from Schefter or anybody. I don't. Is anybody else saying what I'm saying though? I don't think anybody is. All right, let's go to the breaking news. See if there's anything else. Patrick Peterson's deal is 2 years, 14 million, 5.85 million. Steelers. Let's go. All right, let me put this on screen here. Ron Navy's got to be excited about this, right? That's a good move for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I mean, that's a real good move, right? All right, let me put that up on screen here, and that way Ron Navy can rejoice. Here we go. This just happened here. Less than 15 minutes ago. New Steelers cornerback Patrick Peterson's deal is 2 years, $14 million with a $5.85 million guarantee per source. Thank you very much. See how Ian Rappaport retweets this kind of information, but he doesn't on a big story he's been waiting to break since he was a little kid, because that's how many quarterbacks have been signal calling since the 90s. Aaron Rodgers since the 90s has been Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. That's it. So Rappaport's lived his whole life wanting to break this news, and Wingo just stepped in and just upset him greatly. All the best for Ron Navy, for Steelers. Aaron Rodgers going to tweet himself while the masses are asleep. Well, if he does, I'll go live. So I'll wake you all up, and we'll dance around in the evening, in the graveyard shift. Damn, I don't know if he still got it. The Vikes D was a joke last year. Let's see what else we got. I'm refreshing. What's Wingo? Let's see what Wingo's got up his sleeve now. I'm gonna make sure my notifications are on for Trey Wingo. That's my go-to guy now. That's one of my go-to guys. Forget this Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter thing. Let's go. Let's turn notifications on. Okay. There we go. Nothing yet. Trey. I hope Trey doesn't disappoint us. I hope he doesn't disappoint us, Mr. Wingo. Don't disappoint us. This show, Vibe Smitty. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you. Are you new, Matthew? Are you new, bro? Trey's, you're being unnecessarily negative, bro. What is he saying? Now I gotta go look at this again. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Let's see here. This is pretty funny. I forgot it's serious sometimes. I'm sorry. Patrick Peterson loves playing for... Come on, Trez. You got to be a little more upbeat than that. Running for president of... Okay. Diggs is a beast. Yeah, keep it a little more positive, Trev. Or Trez, or whatever. Appreciate you. Let's be positive. Let's see here. I believe in Trey. He was right about Rodgers coming back and Randall Cobb last year. And he's the one that knew that Aaron Rodgers was getting visitors flown out to him. Those New York Jets brass coming out in a plane. So clearly he's got ties to the situation. You know what I mean? I feel like he's got ties to the situation. I feel like I want to trust the guy that feels connected. Aaron Rodgers. Oh, you know what else? God, I'm putting it all together. I'm telling you. Aaron Rodgers ripped on Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter when he was interviewed about this or talking about this. And he said, if they're tweeting out about me, it's crap and it's lies, because no one in his inner circle would talk. So therefore, if they have any news, it has to be lies, and they don't know shiat, is what he said about me. Aaron Rodgers said that about them, creating potentially a little bit of a sore spot between Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, and Aaron Rodgers. And maybe Rodgers is leaking info to Trey Wingo, or maybe Wingo has connections to it that are just closer, and because of the upset feelings that Rappaport and Schefter have about Aaron Rodgers speaking ill about their process, maybe it puts them in an upset mood that Wingo's getting a line on it. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing. Yes, when he talked about it, his inner circle, you are right, says Sandy. He's proven credible when it comes to Rodgers. Exactly. Yeah, I've watched a bit in the past, but now I'm really into the show. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you. Phone lines are open if you want to dial in. Rodgers is feeding the info to Wingo for a reason. I mean, he might be, or at least, like I said, Wingo's getting it from somebody, maybe from the Packers side, or from the Packers or the Jets side, and therefore Schefter and Rappaport are so upset about it because Rodgers publicly shamed them. That's why they're upset about Wingo having it and just kind of trying to tear down Wingo. Look, if it happens, I'm giving Wingo the credit. I'm sorry, but I am. Rodgers said he likes Wingo on Pat's show. Oh, it's coming together. I don't feel like anybody else is talking about this. I feel like no one's psychoanalyzing this thing. I mean, go listen to Schefter's report. Nothing's happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. It's not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Yet. Someone said, look at Garrett Wilson's tweets. Yeah, I mean, he has had some stuff earlier today. Yeah, we talked about that briefly. Let's pull up Garrett Wilson's tweets, though. We'll go over that now. So Garrett Wilson, so this was 5 hours ago. For those that don't know, so it's good you're bringing it up. We need to cover all of our bases in one live stream. So this is what Garrett Wilson tweeted 5 hours ago, and mind you, Trey Wingo was a little bit after that, but Garrett Wilson wrote the following. Y'all should see the smile on me right now. I can finally enjoy my vacay now. 5 hours ago. 17,000 likes, 25,000 likes, 4.3 million views, 2.5 million views. Combination of what looks to be well over almost 5.5 thousand retweets. Comments ranging well over 1,000. This is what we're talking about here. This is what we're talking about here. And Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner are the leadership currently in New York, and they've very blatantly and openly and willingly have kind of surrendered their leadership to Aaron Rodgers. The way they speak to him, the way they try and lure him in, the way they talk about him, and this is a good group right here. This is a good group of youngsters that want to be mentored and taught and led by Aaron Rodgers. It's just an inviting situation, and that's why I think it's definitely going to happen. It's too good of a situation, and Rodgers is probably sitting there laughing at Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, who have pretty much, in Aaron Rodgers' own words, fed everybody a bunch of horse crap on Aaron Rodgers topics, because Aaron Rodgers himself said no one in my inner circle would ever dare talk. So, all due respect, if something comes out of Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter's mouth, I'm paraphrasing here, that it's not correct. You know, it's horse crap, essentially. Again, paraphrasing. So this sounds like a little bit of a feud going on, and then the Garrett Wilson stuff. Let's see here. Trey Wingo. He just tweeted. Okay. He's not talking about that, though. Come on, Trey. Trey, if you're going to tweet, make it about Aaron Rodgers right now. Come on. We don't need to hear this Tiger Woods stuff. Tiger Woods isn't a part of the show right now. We're waiting on A-Rod. We're waiting on A-Rod news only. Does Twitter have a notification option where I can say, send me notifications immediately on all Aaron Rodgers tweets, and have my phone vibrate and light up and spin around and overheat if it is an Aaron Rodgers tweet? How do I set up that notification? Because that's the notification I need. Let me go ahead and check a couple other news sources here and text threads that I have going on that might potentially have some kind of lead on this. Let's see here. Here's this one by. Let me have this. Have this read to you. Hold on. Let's go ahead and look at this Aaron Rodgers news. So this is the most recent on NBC Sports on this Aaron Rodgers situation. I'll have it read it to you so that you can hear it from another source right here. This is according to NFL. This is from NBC Sports about NFL Network, Ian Rappaport.
NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reports Aaron Rodgers has not informed either team of where he wants to go. Rappaport is referring to the Packers and Jets, who seem to be the only two teams in the Rodgers sweepstakes at this point. Rappaport correctly pointed out that, despite Rodgers saying otherwise, his indecision is holding up the line for free agent signing with whatever team he ultimately chooses to play for. Until his future team knows they have him on the roster for sure, they can't commit much money to other players. Rappaport also noted that a deal between the Jets and Packers has yet to be worked out. That directly contradicts what Pro Football Network's Trey Wingo reported earlier today in addition to previous reports that carried a similar sentiment. The Jets are still heavy favorites to land the three-time MVP, but Rodgers appears determined to drag the circus out as long as possible.
Little bias report there by NBC Sports. The circus. Everybody's so hell-bent against Aaron Rodgers, and I understand it's frustrating, but this is a man that maybe he does know what he wants to do, maybe he doesn't, but I firmly believe that he believes that he still needs more time. Regardless, I don't think he's sitting there going, oh, I'm going to push this until the end, and he's just conniving. I think he's probably like, you know what, they're pushing me, I'm not ready. I'm going to make it longer because I'm not ready. And I've been in the league long enough that I deserve to wait until the league year begins. This is a period where, yeah, a lot's happening, but this is a period where Aaron Rodgers has the ability, and he's being courteous enough to say, I will let you know before the league year begins. That means tomorrow or tonight. And so I just feel like everybody attacks Aaron Rodgers, and I just think majority of it is unfair. He barely speaks about anything. Everybody says he's a drama queen, he's doing this, he's doing that. He barely talks about anything. It's everybody else that dives in and starts assuming and talking for him and making up stuff, to be honest with you. I don't feel like Aaron Rodgers is as big of a diva as people make him out to be. Is he arrogant? Sure. Is he good? Does he deserve to be arrogant? Yes. Is Aaron Rodgers trying to manipulate everybody? No. Is Aaron Rodgers living a weird life? Yeah. Does he make weird decisions? Is he kind of a strange guy? Absolutely. And it rubs people the wrong way. I know, right, this isn't a video game. This is his life and possible career right here. I mean, he deserves to do whatever he wants. If a team doesn't want to wait for him, then he probably says, look, if you won't wait for me, then fine. You know, don't wait for me. But he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to do anything. If he's Aaron Rodgers, if they want him, they will wait for him. And they probably already know that he's going to come back. And it's more like, don't say a word or I won't come back. I'm going to announce it when I'm ready. The only thing I'm contemplating is this, and this. So hang tight. Let's see. What do you think about Hunt's value in Dynasty if he's traded to the running back needy team? Kareem Hunt can't be traded. He's a free agent. So if we look at the free agent board, bro, you'll see Kareem Hunt is on this list right here. He is a free agent. He won't be traded. He could sign with whatever team he wants. I think Cincinnati, Buffalo, Miami, really Philly, all these teams. Every single team on this list makes sense for Kareem Hunt. You know, he'd be in a good position on any one of these teams. A-Rod is dragging this out. I don't care if he's dragging it out, Bobby. Like, I appreciate you, Bobby, first of all. But he has the right to drag it out. He's dragging it out not because he's a conniving person. He's dragging it out because he feels he needs more time. Even if we know that he's probably a little delusional about needing more time, he believes that he needs more time for whatever reason. I don't think he's literally sitting there trying to play games with the entire world to create more hatred toward him. I really find that very hard to believe. So dragging it out, sure. But dragging it out on purpose, no. I don't buy that for a second. Is Wingo's career on the line here? No. Number one, it's going to happen. So, like, no matter what, he's going to be right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's anything wrong. Not to mention, he could still hear it's happening and then it not happen. Like, I could hear it. Hey, it's happening. This is Steve in the accounting department. I know it's happening. I just overheard the conversation. Okay, Steve, I'm gonna announce that. Is that okay? Yeah, don't put my name in it. Okay. I heard this is a done deal. And then Steve goes, oops. It sounds like Aaron Rodgers made a boo-boo. And he demanded at the last second that we trade a guy that's not even on the roster anymore, Robert Tonyan, to the Jets with him. And we told him, Aaron, he's not on the roster. We don't have his rights. I don't care. You get it done. Deal is all off. It's off, Trey. It's off. Back down. Abort. Operation spill the beans before Schefter and Rappaport gate. And I don't care if you guys have different opinions. I'm not mad at these differing opinions. Roger says he's dragging it out to feed his ego so everyone can speculate for days. I just don't see it, bro. I don't see it. Darkness Retreat, that was his business that everybody, including you, Roger, including me, we decided to dig into his private life. We decided to do that, Roger. No one else. We went digging. He mentioned it on the Pat McAfee show once, and the whole world went crazy for it. And that's not Aaron Rodgers trying to be a dramatic person. Aaron Rodgers looked like he almost didn't want to say he was doing it when he said it. You could tell he was like genuinely like concerned about mentioning it. And the entire world went digging for that information. The entire world reported on it. We are the ones that go looking for Aaron Rodgers news. This is not him feeding his ego, in my opinion. I appreciate your take. I just think that Rodgers gets a bad rap. Olave and Garrett Wilson, top 5, both could easily be top 5, bro. And I got a bold prediction video dropping that you're going to want to stay tuned for, my guy. We talked about Bijan being a potential number 1 overall running back at the end of the year. Wait till you see my Garrett Wilson and Olave videos. I need to talk about my Eagles. What about your Eagles, Swavey? They're going to be fine. You've got the 10 pick. You got the 30 pick. You've got a potential to bring in through a future second rounder, a Derrick Henry or maybe an Austin Eckler. You're going to be fine. Just hopefully your team sees the need for going after a big name player like that in the trade. No digging. He announced it. He's made it public. I know what you're saying, Rodgers, but I'm telling you that the media is the one that runs with it. And I don't think he's literally sitting there going like this, oh, this is so fun that the whole world is spinning because of me. I think maybe he's got an ego. I think he does feed his ego. You have to be one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. You're going to be egotistical. You're going to have an attitude. You're going to yell at people on the field differently than a player that doesn't have that kind of like, presence. But I don't think this man's sitting there watching the world burn and has a smile on his face. I think that, and I think that, yeah, he might announce he's doing something, but he's being probed on a show about, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this little darkness thing. He didn't know that it was going to blow up the way it was. He might have a hesitation to say things because people go digging. But, bro, there should be no reason everybody dug into the Darkness Retreat the way they did and expected it to not, be the biggest headline and rule news wires and topics all over the place. Try calling a few times. Okay, try again. I'm sorry. The phone lines are open now. Isaac, dial back in. I'm sorry. Letting our entire defense leave in free agency, says Swavey. It's not the entire defense, but bro, they've got some moves to make. Just hang tight. You got a whole free agency to go, and not to mention you've got an NFL draft as well, where you got the 10 and 30 pick. You'll be fine. You've lost 4 guys. You got the 10 and 30 pick. I was kind of hoping you'd be able to use those as extra pieces, but if you're replacing guys, it'll be fine. Holmes, no ego. Well, I mean, he's still very young, bro. He's just getting going. He has a different personality type too. I would say I agree with you. There's probably less a chance that he's going to be as egotistical, but a lot of quarterbacks are egotistical. In some ways, it makes him great. Leaders in a lot of ways are egotistical, and if you ask anybody that follows them, so if we're talking about, like, let's say a leader of a corporation, or let's say you're in survivor mode on an island and you're shipwrecked and you're there with 15 guys. Laundromat Jack just hung up. Laundromat, you're there. Just hang tight, bro. Dial in. Laundromat, what's up?
Yo, Smitty.
Yeah.
I'm scared, man.
Why?
We're losing. It feels like our entire defense, and yeah, we're trying to make room for this Jalen Hurts contract, and it just feels like we got Jalen Hurts, we got our O-line, we got our receivers, which is great, but it seems like on defense it's just all falling apart, and I just don't know how to feel confident in our team going forward to be contenders when we're losing all these guys. I know we still have a lot of time, but
bro, do
you really see us as contenders going forward next year?
Bro. Yeah, you were in the Super Bowl, bro. You were one play away, and who's to say your defense is going to be worse and not better? Like, yeah, you're going to replace some people. There are plenty of options. You guys have a plan in place. You're obviously waiting to spend money in a certain way. You've got the draft. You could replace 2 of those 4 guys right now in the NFL draft, and you trade a future first rounder for Derrick Henry. You take a little bit of a different approach.
We're not getting Derrick Henry.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know. You don't know that. You could get Austin Eckler. You could get Derrick Henry. You could potentially trade a second-round pick. Or let's say you draft Bijan Robinson with the number 9 overall pick. You use the 30. You use other draft capital. Am I saying something funny?
Yes, Smitty. We are not. Dude, the Eagles are not drafting Bijan Robinson.
Why?
Top 10.
What? I mean, I didn't even finish, bro. If they don't go that route, Jahmyr Gibbs, potentially at 30 overall, such a fantastic fit in that offense.
I like that.
There's tons of things that could happen. Don't put it past the Eagles to take Bijan Robinson, bro. He's a generational talent. Am I saying something funny again, bro? Is there someone funny at the laundromat right now? Am I keeping you from somebody at the laundromat there, Jack? That's telling jokes over there over you focusing on the phone call here? What are you laughing at?
Smitty, yes. It's just hard for me to envision a world where the Eagles draft Bijan Robinson at 10 overall. I just can't see it.
Well, I'll see it for you. I'll envision it for you. I'm not saying it's a lock. Just because they don't do it doesn't mean that I feel like it's a wrong call. Look, it's going to come down to, do they want to replace the running back position through a Kareem Hunt move? Kareem Hunt would be a fantastic signing. Do they want to bring in Jahmyr Gibbs? What if you bring in Kareem Hunt and you use both those 30 and 9 picks on defensive players, and now you're down 2 players and you got whole free agency and the rest of the draft to go? Like, relax.
And you think they can compete with all these young draft picks?
When I said it the first time, Laundromat Jack, I wasn't joking. I'll say it again for you though. Yes, you guys are contenders. Teams have to score 30 to 40 points to even compete with you. This is an absolute contender no matter what happens. The Eagles aren't falling off. The Eagles aren't. I love it, people. People are just clowning on the Eagles left and right. I think you're buying into it, Laundry. I think you're buying into it because people are saying it. Oh, the Eagles are falling apart. You got to love it, especially like Niner fans will say at Niner pages. You're reading it. You're seeing it.
Fuck the Niners.
It's obvious that people are scared of this team being what it was last year, and they're very happy to see any part of it fall apart. But just hang tight, and you guys got a whole bunch of opportunity left to rebuild this thing. And there's no way you're sitting on your hands letting guys walk if you don't have a game plan. So just hang tight.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Get back to your laundry, pal. All right. Later, pal. I mean, I didn't realize I was running a comedy session here. Anyway. D-Town, what's good, says Hob G. Hob G, the building. Angel, what's going up? Keep it. PG Laundry. I know he's running his mouth a little bit on that one, but he's upset. AC says he just said the F-bomb, LOL. Christian, appreciate you with your super chat earlier. By the way, I see you still in the building. We got 168 people in here. Punch that thumb up on your way out the door. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. If anybody calls before I end the show, I'll let you on real quick. But if you don't call, we're out of here. Mom, the meatloaf. We want the meatloaf. Get it ready. 7 p.m. Eastern. Every single Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm live. Every single Monday through Friday. We've been live for an hour and 50 minutes roughly. I'm live whenever news breaks. I'm live pretty much every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight Eastern. During the seasons, I'm live multiple times on Sundays. We go live. We do it live. That's how we do it. Appreciate you being here. I work for you. Let's go get burrowed. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
I'll see you all tomorrow, probably for multiple breaking news videos prior to the 7 p.m. show tomorrow. And if any news breaks tonight, which I kind of feel like it's going to, something's going to come out. Some clarification of Trey Wingo's tweet, some clarification of something or other is going to come out. I probably will jump on here live. We've got another piece of breaking news. Hold on. Let's get to this real quickly. Former Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks is signing with the Chargers. He announced on Instagram. There you go. Eric Kendricks. Yep, there we go. More Eric Kendricks news. Trey Wingo. Let's see here. Cardinals. Zach Allen reached an agreement on a 3-year deal, $45 million deal that includes $32.5 million guaranteed. There you go. There, Cardinals making a move there. And I know the minute I end this live stream, something's going to happen, but that's okay. We'll be back if it does. Schefter and ESPN and Rappaport always tweeting at the same time. Why don't you guys coordinate with Wingo? Why don't Schefter, Rappaport coordinate with Wingo on their tweets? Because he's not in the club. Wingo's not in the club, but Wingo doesn't care because Wingo, like your boy Smitty, is a solo act, and we beat to the tune of our own drum because that's how Wingo and I do it. Okay? Doing it live. Appreciate you all. See you here later. Peace out. Is that meatloaf ready? We want the meatloaf. We want it now. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that wrong? Vikings. Did I say Cardinals? I don't know what I said. Sorry if I worded that wrong earlier. You know what I was saying? Yeah, Kendricks is signing with the Chargers. Zach Allen agreed to a 3-year deal, $45.75 million, including a $32 million signing bonus. Back with Vance Joseph. Broncos are making moves. I'm sorry if I said Cardinals, former Cardinal. Broncos making moves. Dang, I got mad, hated on this call. Swavey, it's fine, bro. Everybody appreciates you. You're a little bit wound up about, you know, the laundromat name. You took you over a long time to accept that was one of the coolest nicknames that anybody's ever been given on the show, and you complained about it. And you called in and you laughed at me, and so I just joked with you back. Swavey, relax. You're a favorite. You're a phone call favorite on the channel. All right. See you later. Chill out. Relax. You're good.
Get breached.